Hey, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. In today's video I want to talk about Fallout 76, and more specifically I want to talk about, will Fallout 76 destroy the Fallout franchise? Now the reason why I'm talking about this is because I have seen many comments on other YouTubers' YouTube videos, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, really any social media. I have seen comments saying that Fallout 76 will destroy the Fallout franchise and is going to kill the Fallout franchise, and Fallout will essentially never be the same again. So in this video I want to talk about and answer the question, will Fallout 76 destroy the Fallout franchise? And to answer it straight out, no, I don't think Fallout 76 will destroy the Fallout franchise, and here's why. One, we look at Fallout 76, and if you've been following the game, you've been following all the news, you've watched the documentary on Fallout 76, you've watched the interviews with Pete Hines and Todd Howard, you'll know that Fallout 76 is shaping up to be a really big and ambitious game. In fact, it is probably going to be the biggest and most ambitious game released by Bethesda Game Studios. I mean, if you look at all the work that went into Fallout 76, and let's look at all the things and mechanics that went into Fallout 76, I'm just going to list them off, things that I've seen over the last couple of days that lead me to, kind of believe that Fallout 76 will be a good game, and in fact will not kill the Fallout franchise, but help promote it. So, looking at Fallout 76 over the last couple of things, a lot of mechanics that I have seen talked about that I really like are: one, it's going to have a story. This has already been confirmed. What that story is has yet to be mentioned. However, if you watch my speculation and prediction video a while back, my prediction is that the story is essentially going to be a main quest, which is going to be given to you by the Overseer, and you're in this main quest, you're going to have to go out and figure out what happened to the other Vault dwellers who left the Vault before you did, and kind of go all throughout the map, all 6 regions and stuff like that, and kind of find out what happened to the people who left the Vault before you did. It has also been confirmed that the game's going to have tons of quests. This has been confirmed by Pete Hines. Not only is the game going to have a main story, it's going to have tons of quests, which is awesome, which probably means side quests as well. And also, it's going to have an end game, which means there will be an ultimate end game for players to play to. The end game has already been revealed, and that's using the nukes to destroy the Scorch Beast hives. Scorch Beast are these really big, evil monsters that kind of fly around and kind of terrorize the map from what we've seen in the gameplay trailer at E3. They kind of fly around, terrorize the map, and your job is to launch a nuke and kind of seal off their hive, their fissure, whatever you want to call it. So we know that Fallout 76 is going to be a very story-packed, quest-packed Fallout, from what we've seen so far. Also, the map is 4 times as big as the Fallout 4 map, which is ridiculous. That is insane in size. It's also been confirmed on the map there's going to be plenty of unique and interesting locations to discover. If we look at that Fallout 4 fan-made map that was made not too long ago, we can kind of confirm that there is a lot of awesome, unique, interesting locations to discover on this map. Not only is there a lot of unique, interesting locations, the map is divided up into 6 different regions, each with its own unique biome, its own unique, kind of atmosphere. It has its own type of trees, its own type of plants, has its own type of enemies, it has its own type of risk and rewards. And there's 6 different of those, essentially 6 different biomes on one map, which is really cool, ranging from lush green forest all the way to desolate wastelands. We also look how the game will be a role-playing game, because Pete Hines has come out and said, yes, this won't be like other Fallout games in the way of role-playing, where it's very scripted and very dialogue heavy. However, it'll be more role-playing in the sense the players will choose what they want to do. If you want to be a trader, you could set up a trade outpost and trade with other players that are in the game and on the server. If you want to be kind of a raider and a bad guy, you could go around and kill people. Now, keep in mind, you can't grief people, because they've put a lot of mechanics in the game to prevent griefing, including a system to where if you kill somebody, you can't loot them, they can then spawn somewhere else, or they can choose to challenge you again, and whenever they get tired, if they beat you, whatever have you, they could just go on their merry way the other way. Also, it's been confirmed that people won't be able to grief in the sense of placing down their bases in inconvenient locations. They've already said that people aren't going to be able to block important things like for quests, resources, and spawn points. It's also been confirmed that you cannot get spawn killed in Fallout 76. And that players who are aggressive will have bounties put on their head, which in turn will have other players come hunt them down. And, contrary to popular belief, players can attack other players. It's not going to be a challenge-based system like a lot of YouTubers are talking about. It is going to be a regular PvP system, where if I see you, I could kill you. However, it's not going to be a PvP system in the way I could keep on griefing you. If I see you, I can kill you, but then you could choose to spawn somewhere else or go somewhere else. And they have stated that the map is so big, and that they have added things like sneak into the game, which makes it very easy to avoid people. And it looks like Fallout 76 will also have a solid PvP, for an online game anyway. Not to mention, you get to play this game with your friends, which is pretty awesome. And if we look back at the trailer, there's plenty of unique weapons and unique armor in the game, which is fantastic. We see armor, combat armor, we've seen raider armor, we've seen leather armor, we've seen flannel shirt and pants, we've seen a mailman outfit, we've seen a fireman outfit. We've seen all kinds of outfits in the Fallout 76 gameplay reveal trailer, and it's pretty awesome. And plus, there's probably tons more armor sets that are going to be in the game, and tons more outfits that are going to be in the game as well. We look at weapon-wise, we see Fatmans, we see missile launchers, we see laser rifles, laser pistols, we see machine guns, we see Gatling guns, we see 44 Magnums, we see revolvers, we see shotguns, we see hunting rifles, we see sniper rifles, we see fire axes, we see 10mm pistols, we see hatchets, we see machetes, we see all kinds of different weapons inside Fallout 76 as well, which is really cool. So it looks like Fallout 76 is shaping up to be a really good and ambitious game. In fact, it is probably going to be Bethesda Game Studios' biggest and most ambitious game. I mean, also in the NoClip documentary, they talk about how they had to redesign their engine to actually make this game. So it's not like this is something that they just whipped up in 10 minutes or a year or so. This is something that they've been working on for a long time. And if you watch the documentary, you'll know that Bethesda Game Studios is putting a lot of hard work and effort into the game. Also, they talk about how when it comes to content for the game, there will be regular free updates for everyone. There will be regular free DLCs for everyone to play. There will be microtransactions in the game, however, it will only be for cosmetic effects and will not boost player stats, boost player damage, or anything like that. It'll just be for skins and cosmetics. So it looks like Fallout 70 and Todd Howard has said in interviews that when you sit down and you play Fallout 76, you'll know you're playing a Fallout. It'll feel like a Fallout. However, it'll just be a little different. And to be honest, Fallout 76 looks like a very solid Fallout game. Not only does it look like a very solid Fallout game, it looks like a very solid online survival game. And combining online survival with Fallout is an absolutely genius idea in my opinion, and the game looks absolutely fantastic and amazing. It looks big and ambitious, so I don't see how a good game would affect the Fallout franchise. Now let's say Fallout 76 happens to come out and it's fucking terrible. It's the worst thing that you've ever played in your life. It's horrible, it's awful, it sucks balls. Would that still kill the Fallout franchise? Probably not. If we look at the Elder Scrolls Online, now I know Elder Scrolls Online is not made by Bethesda Game Studios, but the same arguments came up when the Elder Scrolls Online was announced. They said, oh my god, the Elder Scrolls franchise is dead, it's over, it's going to be terrible, it's going to be awful, no one's going to want to play the Elder Scrolls anymore, oh, the Elder Scrolls was such a good game, why did they do this, I can't believe they've done this, it's terrible, it's bad. And then now, Elder Scrolls Online not only has over 11 million players, but it's constantly updated with free content and DLC. That, of course, you have to pay for, but it's very good content. And it's a very solid online game as well. And it's a very solid Elder Scrolls game. Although it's different from what we're used to seeing, where it's, our main character very heavily dialogue scripted, although it's different from what we're used to seeing, People actually really enjoy the Elder Scrolls Online. And even with all the hate surrounding Elder Scrolls Online a long time ago, it faded over time. And when the Elder Scrolls 6 was announced, people went crazy, and now people are talking about Elder Scrolls 6. People are excited for the Elder Scrolls 6. So even if Fallout 76 was to be terrible, whenever the next Fallout was announced, which would be single player, back to the stuff we're used to seeing, single player, RPG, story driven game that, kind of like for all the Fallouts are. Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4. I know Fallout New Vegas wasn't made by Bethesda Game Studios, but look at all the other Fallouts, when the next Fallout comes out, it'll probably be single players, kind of like what we've seen before. And people will probably still be hyped for that. And people will be really excited for that. And if we look at probably how long it's going to take to get another Fallout, I believe that Fallout 76, not only will it not kill the Fallout franchise, it'll probably keep it alive even longer. The reason why I say this is because if we look at when the next Fallout would come out, it would be a very long time from now. So let's say Fallout 76 doesn't exist for a moment. Bethesda Game Studios has already confirmed that their next game, Starfield, and The Elder Scrolls 6 will be available on next-gen consoles. Todd Howard has stated in interviews the technology is not currently where it needs to be to create the game they want to create with Starfield and The Elder Scrolls 6, so they have to wait till next-gen consoles come out so they could actually do it. And if you follow next-gen consoles like PS4, Xbox One, many people are saying that the next-gen consoles will probably come out in 2020 or sometime around there. So let's say they come out 2020 at the earliest. We know that it would probably take Bethesda Game Studios about 2 years to get a game onto the consoles. So probably around 2021 to 2022, we would see Starfield. Now keep in mind, Fallout 76 doesn't exist in this situation, so the last time we would have seen a game from Bethesda Game Studios would have been back in 2015 when Fallout 4 was released. And now we're getting a game from Bethesda Game Studios about 5.5 years later. And then the Elder Scrolls 6 would come out. And you figure if Bethesda Game Studios releases games every 3 to 4 years like they always do and they have for a very long time, if Starfield came out in 2021 to 2022, the Elder Scrolls 6 would come out in 2024 to 2026 sometime. And then Fallout, the next Fallout, would probably come out between 2027 and 2030 at the earliest, 2027, and 2030 probably at the latest. So let's say at the latest it came out in 2030. That means it would have been over 15 years between the release of Fallout 4 and Fallout 5. But with a game like Fallout 76 introduced in 2018, this year, and it being an online game which could constantly get updated, constantly get new fresh DLC added to it, it's also been confirmed that they're going to listen to player feedback and kind of shape the game on that. It's also been confirmed that the game's going to be constantly evolving. So that means they'll probably be able to get a very long lifespan out of Fallout 76 until the next Fallout comes out, so the wait won't seem that long. In my opinion, Fallout 76 content and updates will probably stop coming out maybe sometime in 2021 to 2022 when Starfield is released. So I think for the next couple of years, 2-3 years, we will probably see Fallout 76 DLCs released regularly. And now that we've kind of established a baseline, let's say, like we were talking about, the Fallout 76 content, DLCs, and updates for content for Fallout 76 stop in 2021 to 2022. That means there's no longer a 15-year gap between Fallouts, but now between a 6 and 8 year gap, and maybe a 10-year gap at maximum, before we see the next Fallout. And that's usually how long we wait between Fallouts. I mean, if you look at the time between Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, I believe the wait was about 7 years, if I remember correctly right off the top of my head. And if there was no Fallout 76, it would be more like a 15-year gap between Fallouts. So not only do I think Fallout 76 will not kill the Fallout franchise, I think it will boost it, because not only do I think it'll be a good and awesome game and an awesome Fallout, I think it'll also keep the franchise alive, because it'll be less of a wait between the next Fallout comes out. Because with Fallout 76, if they stop producing content for it in 2021 to 2022, they'll probably even make content much longer after that. But let's say at the earliest they stop making content for it in 2021 to 2022. That is only probably about 10 years away or 8 years away from when we see the next Fallout, which isn't that bad of a wait, because that's usually how long we wait anyway. And waiting just a little bit longer really isn't going to hurt, especially with titles like Starfield and The Elder Scrolls 6 coming out. But if there was a 15-year gap between the Fallouts, that would give a lot of time for the fan base of Fallout to really die down. Because think about it, 15 years from now, where are you going to be? Where am I going to be? Are you still going to want to play video games? Are you still going to want to play Fallout? And if we did not see a Fallout for another 15 years, people would probably still accuse Bethesda Game Studios of killing the Fallout franchise and abandoning it. So I'm glad that Fallout 76 is actually coming out, because this means that there's going to be less time between now and when the next Fallout is released. Like I said, I don't think Fallout 76 is going to kill the Fallout franchise. I think Fallout 76 is going to be a very good, big, and ambitious game by Bethesda Game Studios. In fact, I think it's going to be their most biggest and ambitious game yet. I think it's going to have a very long lifespan, a lot longer than other Fallouts that we have seen, because it's going to have an online element to it, and we all know online games usually have a pretty long lifespan. I mean, look at the Elder Scrolls Online. That thing has been going on forever. The Elder Scrolls Online has been going on since 2014. So that's a 4-year lifespan, when usually all the DLCs and all the content for a Bethesda Game Studios game have come out within a year. So I see Fallout 76 adding and being a much longer lived game than other Fallouts, which means a less of a wait between when we see the next Fallout. So not only do I think it's not going to kill the Fallout franchise, I think it will in fact keep it alive. And I think Fallout 76, like I said, and I know I keep on repeating myself, will be a very good, big, and ambitious game. A lot of people are already writing this game off. Listen, don't listen to other YouTubers. I'm not saying only listen to me, right? I'm saying don't let other people cloud your judgment. Wait till you play the game and cast judgment on it for yourself. Now, I know some people might say, oh, but Fallout 76 is online now. I really don't like online games. Online games aren't for me, so I'm not going to like Fallout 76. But if you like Fallout, wouldn't you like an online version of that? So what if it's online? It's still going to be a Fallout. And people will probably say, but I played online games in the past and they suck. They're terrible. They're bad. They're awful. They're filled with bugs and they're filled with glitches. But have you ever played an online Fallout before Fallout 76? Because I know I haven't. And Bethesda Game Studios has already said they're going to constantly update the game. They're going to constantly work with player feedback to make the game better. And they have a really big studio to actually do this and keep it in check. A lot of other online survival games have very small studios, and most of them take the money and run anyway. But with Bethesda Game Studios, that's really probably not going to be the case, because they're such a large studio. And when have they ever taken the money and run? Did they do it for The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim? Did they do it for Fallout 4? Did they do it for Fallout 3? No. So I highly doubt they would do it for Fallout 76. So yeah, guys, there you go. I don't think Fallout 76 will kill the Fallout franchise, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Anyways, I love each and every single one of you. I hope to see you guys right back here tomorrow, but until then, remember to stay freaky. Bye, everyone.